Shoppers spend over £1 billion a year on music, but many are now staying at home and buying music online instead of in store. Despite the fact there are over 6,500 music retailers in the UK, 5 years ago there were only 900 independent music shops in the country. That number has now dropped to 281, and with 85% of music still being sold on CD, what does the record shop have to do to compete? We asked the owners of two of Glasgow's biggest record shops how the growth in online music has affected their business and what the future holds for the independent record store.
Well, this particular shop opened its doors in 1997, Christmas 96 to be exact, as Avalanche Records. I was the manager from when it opened for the next 10 years, and then I basically franchised it from the owner. And after a while, when the recession came along and the whole cultural shift came along and people stopped buying CDs in the same way, I just couldn't afford to pay the £25,000 a year anymore for the Avalanche name. So we went our separate ways basically, and that's when I changed the name to Love Music back in 2010.
I came from another record store in Glasgow, and my business partner came from another record store in Glasgow. More and more we were buying the records that we wanted ourselves online. What we decided to do was start our own record store. We just wanted to have a local independent record store that was stocking records that you couldn't find in other record shops.
Online has totally changed the record business. It's totally changed independent retail. Physical shops are falling by the wayside. Every week another shop closed down. Britain's lost like 600 shops in the past 10 years. Music is particularly hard hit because you can download our product. There's not many businesses where you can download the actual finished item. You can't download a pair of jeans. You can't download a box of cornflakes. You have to go buy them. But here people could just either legally or illegally get the new album by whoever they choose to.
I would say small record stores like Monorail, which are more niche, it hasn't affected them so much because we still have people that come that collect records, that are record collectors, so they want the physical format. It's a funny time in record shops just now because vinyl's coming back and CD sales are diminishing, so as CDs are slipping away, it's just becoming a more collectible market. I don't think it'll never be what it was in the late 70s, early 80s. You know, people won't get rich off running record stores, but I think there'll still be a demand as soon as supermarkets started to sell CDs cheaper than record shops could buy them in dealer price. That was a big problem. Small independent record shops don't get the same discounts as big supermarkets because they're not buying the same, they don't have the same buying power. So supermarkets can sell CDs cheaper than an independent record shop like mine can buy them for. The marketplace became so big, and then you can now download any album. I think the CD format is becoming a dying format, and I think sales are plummeting. CDs are becoming cheaper and cheaper and cheaper, and I think they're becoming disposable. I do think there will always be independent record stores. I think there'll just be less of them, then they're going to be more catered towards certain genres of music, a bit more in depth, and that's what will make them survive.
In order to make our shop stand out from the chain stores like HMV and FOP and the download sites like iTunes, you really have to go for the niche market basically. You have to specialise. We specialise in vinyl and in rock music basically, so we get in things from small suppliers. The big thing for us is second-hand. Second-hand stuff is what's keeping us going because there's just no money in new releases anymore. The business model's screwed really the way for new releases. So we're looking for specialist stuff, whether it's metal or avant-garde music or skinhead punk, whatever the big chain stores aren't doing. It's a niche market. You have to chase after the niche market basically and specialise.
The ones that are surviving are becoming more niche, becoming more specialist. I think that's the only way they're going to survive, is to offer you something different that you can't find on Amazon or you can't find in your HMV. They're becoming much more specialist, and they're more specialist now than they've probably ever been. One
of the things we do in order to bring more people in is have in-store appearances by musicians, both local bands when they have a new single out and travelling bands. Recently we've had our Record Store Day celebrations in April of this year, and we had 10 groups on that afternoon, and it was hugely successful, and the shop was packed. We had some lesser known people as well, and in other years we've had travelling American bands who just happened to be playing Glasgow on the day of Record Store Day, so they've come along and shown their support. So you really have to do extra things like that. You have to run faster just to stand still.
We'll do album launches where we'll put on a lot of free shows where we can get up to 300 people turn up to see a band, do record signings, because a lot of our customers are musicians, so we have a lot of friends and artists that do things that draw people in that makes it a bit different from another record store?
Well, yeah, I think there's going to be a future for independent shops. It's going to be small, though. It's going to be small is beautiful kind of thing. It's going to be more niche market. And it's not going to be the big days of HMV and Virgin on the high street trying to sell new releases for £12 a pop, because no one's going to pay £12 for a new CD when they can get a download for £6 or £7, or just shop online and get it from the Channel Islands for $7.99, or Tesco for cost price or below cost price. So yes, there is a future for them, but it's going to have to be downsized and become more like almost like antique shops or gift shops kind of thing. You really have to search things out.
So it looks like there is a future for the independent record shop after all, just on a smaller scale. Record shops have always followed the trends, and it looks like the digital age will be no exception.